The reality of it is right now we don't own this home. It has been bought, it has been paid for, it is no longer ours. We are sitting in someone else's home right now. This is how we Bingham, baby. Where do you want me so we don't fall? Oh, good? Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back.
Guys, it feels like we were just
sit-down.
Sitting here, same shot, same angle. I remember just like being amazed by the kitchen in the background, and we were talking all about our epic dream home reveal.
Hey Bingham family, welcome to your new home.
Look behind you! Look behind you!
I have no words.
It feels like we just barely did that. Didn't it feel like we just did that?
Well, we kind of did.
Maybe that's because we just did that.
It's been a dream living here. We absolutely love it.
The dream, as we are learning in life, will change from time to time. If you didn't catch the absolute last sentence of yesterday's video, I guess, I don't know, there's another random explaining to do. Mom's back.
I'm here.
Crew's back. They had a great time. Kind of intentionally, just for fun, put that out there to give us a minute to sit down and record this when Mom got back. If you don't know what the heck is going on, in the very last sentence of the last video we shot, we shouted a surprise to all of you, announcing to the world that our summer was going to have something in it that was maybe not expected, maybe not on everyone's radar. Certainly wasn't our plan originally
No.
to do this in summer 2025, but
We're moving!
We are moving.
Yes.
We are moving out of our dream home.
Yes, we are. And I think that one thing that keeps coming to my mind as I'm just sitting here, knowing that we're going to be talking about the dream home, sometimes the dream isn't necessarily tied to like a thing. It's more like being together. So dream home, this is a dream home. It is everything you could want and more.
Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, like more plus 57 other things that you totally don't need that are awesome. We've absolutely loved living here, but what we love even more is being together as a family.
We do. It's interesting that you phrase it that way because I'm sure there's some thoughts out there at home like, well, can't you do both? Can't you have the dream home and be together?
The dream is only tied to the house, actually.
Yeah, we leave here, the dream is over. The dream is done. Reality of it is, and I guess we'll just cut right into it because I'm sure there's a lot of questions around it, and we have just always been very open and transparent with the way that we share things, and maybe sometimes too much so, maybe sometimes we're a little bit overly transparent, but we just, I don't think are ever really like are ashamed or afraid to just talk openly with you guys about how life is going and the ups and downs, and you guys know it's been a pretty wild roller coaster, specifically over the last 3 years inside of the Bingham family, with a lot of just very wild, unexpected, crazy things that have happened to the family, and we try and just share very openly how life's journey is going. And so for the past like almost year and a half, I would say YouTube has been on a different track than it was that got us into the dream home. YouTube is no longer the long form content like we shoot, full length 15-minute video style of content sharing. It's mostly just the little shorts that everybody likes to watch, the TikToks, the 60 seconds or less. So you just kind of keep moving and watch a little bit here and there. The result of that, as far as what we do as a business and as a way to earn a living, is that those earnings have been on a steady decline for probably, I would say like a year and a half. Would you say about that long? Because it was about 8 months ago that we decided like, hey, we need to safety net ourselves for the future.
We could feel the change coming, and the topic came up more and more each passing month.
And it became stressful in the sense that we didn't know if it was something we were going to have to do or something that we needed to be like smart and get ahead of and do. But you guys know, no secret, we are religious people, and so we made it a matter of prayer, fasting, temple attendance, all those different things to try and figure out what it is that we needed to do as a family. Again, we're just going to openly share the whole process with you guys. We recognize that we probably financially needed to move. We needed to make a change and needed to downsize our life, but we couldn't let go of this specific neighborhood. The house is great. It's unbeatable, but a house can be replaced. There's obviously a lot of things here that we don't need. In fact, in our dream home reveal walkthrough, we paused just over here by the wall and talked about how a lot, you don't need this. It's nice to have, it's fun, we don't need it. We don't need all of these things. We don't need a theater and a pool and all these other awesome things. They are incredible, they're amazing, we love them. What we need is each other. And we need to just focus on the things that actually matter in life. So to us, the friendships we made here, the relationships, those were the hardest thing to finally make the decision to leave, because we have loved this area, we love the people around us, we love the friendships that we've made. It's unlike any place we've ever been.
We live in the best neighborhood and we have the best friends here.
That was what really held us up in making the decision that we knew eventually we were gonna have to make. And so I don't know if Mindy planned on going this deep into it, but to me, it's kind of sometimes therapeutic to talk to the camera, share the process as it happened. So I'm gonna get fairly detailed here. At Maddie's wedding, we actually had talked about and discussed that when we came back in January, we would probably need to put the home up for sale. It just felt like it was the thing to do. And we just knew that early January, let's come back, meet with a realtor and test the market.
Came home from the wedding, make things a matter of prayer and fasting, and we did all the proper steps, and we were getting like it's not time yet. The logical part of us is like, but things are not adding up, things are not working.
We're watching the account shrink and the bills grow, so this doesn't really make a lot of logical sense to us, but we'll hang in there and just see.
It's hard to like work with like logic and your heart at the same time. Every single month that would come up, we would reevaluate. We would make it again a matter of fasting and prayer. Our kids have been involved from the very beginning. They know all of our finances, they know all of the struggles, they know all of the positives too. So we've always included our kids as well. So we've included them in this huge decision.
Well, and I've always wondered if that was like good or bad, because sometimes that can be heavy responsibility or something to carry with you as a kid. But for me, some of the greatest feedback I've gotten, some of the things that I've listened to the closest have been the drives with crew to drop them off at a friend's house, and I'm running through some thoughts with him and he gives me some feedback, and that stuff has stuck with me. Or Ryler's just been incredibly insightful into the whole process. Them expressing what is the most important to them, because as we talked to them about it, we were just a little concerned that it would feel like a big L, like it was a failure, like they'd be going backwards in life.
It's kind of an L.
I mean, yeah, let's call it what it is. It's definitely an L. But is it like a self-esteem damaging L? Is it like something that's going to affect their personality, who they are? But through talking with them, it was just such a wonderful relief to us as parents to recognize that their value and their worth is not tied to our things, our home, where they live, how awesome their backyard is, that they can have friends come over and flex out on people. They just really value time together as a family, but also just a lower level of stress, not being so worried every month if we're going to be able to make it, if we're going to be able to cut it, if we can book some more travel, things like that, they certainly miss. So as things got tighter, they're like, look, we don't care about the house. We just want everyone to be together and happy, like it always has been. And I just feel like this is like a big family gathering, and we're all just kind of discussing our feelings. Because
now, Tammy, what do you think?
For us, there was the, well, why the heck did we feel so great about moving here in the first place? Those of you who maybe are watching and can recall us talking about standing on the sidewalk and just feeling this overwhelming feeling of peace and comfort that this is where we need to build, this is where we need to grow our family, this is going to be our dream and forever home.
This is the future home of the This Is How We Bingham family.
And so we've struggled or juggled those feelings. Why did that feel so right when now it's no longer possible? And we do feel really good and right about these next steps, and we'll get a little bit more into that in a second. But why sometimes in life do we have those moments that happen? Sometimes you don't find out till much later. Sometimes you don't really recognize the reason why until you've gone past it. But
the question of life right now is
in
why?
this particular scenario, we do feel like there's no doubt that we were blessed and had a wonderful opportunity to build this home, to move into this neighborhood, to make these relationships, to create these friendships and bonds that could potentially last a lifetime. As to why it ended up being such a short amount of time, 2.5, 3 years is all that we've lived here. There was like a 1.5 to 2 years of process of building it. So it's been a good chunk of our time here on YouTube has been around this home. So we don't know the answer as to why it was so short-lived. But we do feel really good about the decision that it was time to put the home up for sale. And we'll tell you guys a little bit more about that because that was pretty interesting too. It just felt like it was right then, just like it felt right when we moved in. And so sometimes you can't explain why or the reasoning to the timing of it all. But we do feel really good about this next move.
Which is interesting because if we would have been having this conversation maybe like a month or two ago, you guys, this has been probably one of the most difficult decisions. I personally struggled a ton, and it's been really challenging because we did feel like this is where we're supposed to be. But maybe this isn't exactly the destination. This might just be one of the stepping stones to something greater.
Ooh, okay.
And so it's been really challenging.
Not a greater house. There's no greater house. But there's something else greater that's not a house.
Only to say that it was really, really, really hard to finally make that decision.
Yeah, she did mention that if this was a month ago, it may be a different conversation. And truthfully, I think we needed that month to kind of wrap our own heads around it, to understand why we felt like we needed to do this, why we are in this position, because it was very stressful, emotional. Now that we are so far removed from that, kind of joked as we sat down to do this, we pictured this being one way, kind of like heavy and emotional and full of tears. And then as we sat down, it was like, I mean, we kind of have wrapped our heads around it. We're excited about it, the possibility for the future.
I'm actually genuinely excited, which I never, ever, ever thought I would say. I thought I would leave this house kicking and screaming and just really mad. And I think I went through the mad phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Get back up, and that's what we're doing right now. So we are getting all of our energy to get back up and move forward, and we're actually really excited about what's to come.
Like Mindy said, I don't think saying we're excited to move out of this home is a phrase we ever thought we would say aloud. And truthfully, if you would have asked us that a month ago, I would have been lying or forcing positivity in the situation if I said that. But I think we actually genuinely feel that way about this move. I think that the kids are genuinely excited about the next step.
I think they are.
And life de-stressing a little bit. Something else that I think was pivotal in all of this, a little bit on the heavier side. You guys know my brother passed away tragically, unexpectedly in October. Through that process and sitting down with his family and kind of going through some of the things that they went through, they had some financial meetings, things to understand what their future looked like. I think it was very eye-opening to us and to me in particular, how unprepared we were for those next steps, the unexpected, just that down the line stuff. And so I guess if there's anything even remotely decent to come out of that whole situation is that it was very eye-opening that we needed to take care of some of those things. And we felt like that was just another push in that direction to sell this home. Thankfully, we were able to, because of the market, because of the beautiful home, because of the incredible attention to detail that our builder did, we were able to put it up and walk away with a good amount of money to kind of reset, restart, and reevaluate how we want to manage the future as far as our monthly finances, but then also like a better rainy day funds, I guess you could say. Because moving into here was incredible. It was the dream. It was all that we had put everything towards. All of our financial efforts were towards making this happen. And there wasn't much thought given to beyond that. So then when YouTube took that downturn that it did, and then it continued to go down further and further, and we just thought, well, I don't really know how much further it can go. Let's not get ourselves in a situation where we're being forced to leave. Let's make sure we set ourselves up so that we are being proactive. Really, a lot of it came from those meetings, like I said, that we had in the wake of Justin's passing. And so that was something also that I think, obviously, many of you can relate to this at home. That was one of those moments too where you recognize the things that really matter. You know, the things that actually have value in this life, the things that you can and can't take with you. And we certainly know that, talk about it, think about it, try to operate that way every day. But that was one of those like right in your face screaming things. None of this stuff is important. All that's important is getting to have that time together, make memories together, do things together. It don't really matter at the end of the day how amazing or incredible the house was. And so that helped us to kind of separate, disconnect a little bit from the home, recognize, hey, I think we're gonna be happier and better off somewhere else. And I think that combined with a series of additional events as we continue to have it on our mind and to think about it, really ultimately helped us to feel comfortable with something that I don't think we ever felt like we'd be able to be comfortable with.
Kind of was like a series of events. I guess it was kind of like one big thing that led to like another big thing. I was having a conversation with someone recently about just her husband's job. Hey, how's it going? How's his job? And she's like, yeah, he's a realtor, it's going great. It's crazy because houses right now, they're like going up for sale and like selling immediately. And I was like, ding dong. It went off in my brain like,
well, you have to understand like the context of it all, because at the time I think we had just like had a Sunday where we fasted. If you're not familiar with fasting, I think it's fairly well known, but like you just don't eat and you pray, try and just like center yourself and be open to any kind of answers or inspiration. And so sometimes you're like acutely aware or sensitive to things that maybe seem like nothings, but then having that come up on the heels of asking questions felt like a big deal, followed by...
It did. It felt like a big deal. That was a Saturday. On the heels of that conversation, I drove home, and from the time I left my house till coming home, one of the houses on our street had put a for sale sign up. I was like, what?
I mean, we've been asking for a sign. There it is, for sale sign.
And then that next Wednesday, so 4 days later, another house on our street went up for sale. And I think it was that Thursday that we called the realtors and we were like...
That feels like a fast forwarded version, but really it was every single month.
We're like, okay.
About like December through until we ended up meeting with the realtors, every month kind of checked in, like, is this the month, is this the month? And just asking each other, how do you feel, what are your thoughts? And then that whole series of events happened and it just felt like it was this burning, like there'd been this cool or cold frozen pause, and then that moment happened and it felt like this fire that melted all of the pause and it was like, go now.
It's go time.
And so once we felt that, we wanted to act immediately on it, and we did. And I mean, I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. The series of events that followed were something that I don't think any of us could have ever predicted would happen. We met with our realtor team, they've been incredible. They talked to us, we talked hard numbers, possibilities, and everything lined up with exactly what we were hoping, wanting, needing, etc. We felt like, boom, this is it, let's go. We put our home up. I wanna say we listed, or I don't even remember if it was like a fully listed with pictures, everything like that, but it wasn't a full week, because I know it wasn't from a Sunday to a Sunday, because we hadn't been able to tell people in our neighborhood that we were moving before the home had already gone under contract.
Yeah.
So less than a week, the home got an offer. There was no doubt in our mind that the cooling window where it felt like maybe like a frozen on pause is probably maybe it wasn't the best time to list for whatever reason, but when we felt that burn to go, we do believe that it was to list now, to just move forward with the selling of the home. We believe truthfully that it was so that in that 1 week window we would have the interested parties come through that we did. The home actually got some great attention. It was shown to a lot of people.
Perfect.
We have some hilarious stories about that. Maybe we can share someday, like somebody who had to reschedule because they didn't have a place to land their helicopter, and we just thought, where are we living? But we did have some great people come through, and
we
ultimately
honestly don't deserve this house.
I don't even know how we ended up here in the first place. So it's been an incredible wild ride. We joke that it's been like the most amazing 3-year Airbnb we've ever stayed at in all of our vacations.
Time to check out, guys.
Time to check out.
The cleaning ladies need to come and it's time to go.
It was a long-term lease and we've loved it. But no, so ultimately we were able to sell the home so quickly that it even blew our minds. We thought, boy, we went from not being sure we wanted to make this decision to the home is sold, has an offer
Yeah.
on the table. Many of you probably are wondering when all this happened.
We talked with the realtors right before we went to Disneyland. They came while we were gone and took photos of the house.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then when
that's
we
a great
came
way to
back,
anchor the timing.
it
So that was spring break.
Yeah, and then when we came back, it was about 2 weeks after to get the listing completely finalized. And go time, they put the sign in the yard. Immediately started getting flooded with text messages from neighbors and friends. And what is happening? I just saw your house listed on the MLS.
We tried to tell people one-on-one as much as possible, and some of you might be wondering why it wasn't part of the vlogs. Really, it was just such a big thing to be going through in general with so much uncertainty. We didn't know that it was wise to bring in the public and to bring in the world.
Yes.
Also, we were kind of advised through other people who have done something similar to wait until things are in hand. When you're dealing with something that is like a multi-million-dollar transaction, it's just something that you don't want to mess up by accidentally saying something stupid or bringing in the wrong
and
people.
We had to protect ourselves. That's why it hasn't been talked about. Some of you are probably like, this has all been happening and we had no idea.
I mean, you guys,
And
behind the
we're really
scenes,
sorry, actually.
you may have noticed most of the vlogs have been happening within like this area because there's packed boxes like in every other
know.
room. So we've been trying not to spoil that, let anybody in until everything had been finalized.
Yeah.
So the reality is right now we don't own this home. We are staying here as rent backers from the people who bought it. It has been bought, it has been paid for, it is no longer ours. We are sitting in
Yes.
someone else's home right now,
Man,
which
they
is
have
wild.
they have
We're
a great
actually
place.
homeless.
They could clean up a little bit though, if I'm being honest.
I think maybe the maid was out of town for the weekend.
Oh shoot. Oh yeah,
You're
she
not
was.
the maid. That wasn't a good joke because I
that
didn't
was
mean that.
me.
I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant.
But also, you guys, it's been a rough few weeks. We had to figure out a plan. We actually were given an extra 30 days to be here because we didn't have a plan. We do have a plan now. I don't know if that wants to be like part 2 of this whole thing. We have a great plan, but it took a minute. It's been us like praying and fasting and really relying on Heavenly Father to help us because we're being very lighthearted. We feel really, really good about it. This is genuine,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's been easy. It's been really hard.
Honestly, I think you said that if we'd shot this video a month ago, it probably would have been a little bit different. And so I think it was most likely for the best, but I do want to, I think you've nailed it. I do want to emphasize that even though we're being lighthearted and everything seems all good, it's been a very difficult, rocky road. It's been filled with tears, uncertainty, levels of depression, just like not understanding why it worked out the way that it did. So make no mistake, it's as crazy and as devastating as many of you are feeling right now because you're having those initial feelings when we first realized we had to do it.
We've been feeling.
We've got the benefit of like a month or so under our belt now where we've gotten used to the idea, had all of our, not goodbyes with neighbors because that's still yet to come, but just everyone's been able to warm up to it. We've walked through all the options and alternatives. How can you possibly stay? I think that's the first one everyone does is like, what if you did this? What if you did this? What if you did that? And we've been through all of it. We've been through all of it for, you know, honestly, no joke, probably 8 months worth of regular check-ins and trying to figure out what exactly we need to do. And so it might seem abrupt, it might seem out of nowhere, but it's been a long, in many ways, difficult process. But again, not to harken back on to other tragedies in the family, but having my dad pass, having my brother pass, as trials and difficulties go, trying to figure out where we can take our family and move to seemed like it wasn't nearly in the realm of those things.
Yes, our life is being uprooted, but we've had to do like reality checks. No, this is not ideal.
Yeah.
No, this is something we don't want to do, but try to remain grateful amid something that's been really challenging. Jared and Brittany have been going through a massive trial trying to have a family.
Trying to bring a kid into the world that they can raise and love, something that's such a pure, righteous desire, and have not seen success in those efforts, and it's all very publicly documented. Jared and Britt do their whole journey on YouTube, and you've got that, you've got my sweet sister-in-law, brother's passing. It just seems like boo-hoo, you've got to move. The scope of things, it really didn't feel like as big of a trial that maybe it would have if it was the only trial going on in the Bingham family, but it seems like no one is left unaffected.
And I think no matter how big or small, everyone's going through something. Even if you follow people on social media and they seem happy as can be, there have been times I've actually been grateful for this trial because usually when you go through hard things is when it stretches you and you can bond together.
I was gonna say, we have found that we get closer during the trials more than
Really
anything.
hard things.
When things are easy and smooth, sometimes you just
Like,
take
yeah,
for
you're
granted.
good.
It's just like, yeah. Then when it gets rough, I mean, I think about times that we've been in between jobs, financially strapped seems to be like our main life trial throughout our marriage. But then there's other types, and I just feel like they've always caused us to grow together closer as a family. And so you're grateful for them.
It also encourages you to draw closer to God. So anyway, we feel good about it. Bring you along for the whole process. Now that like we're all in this together.
The timing just lined up perfectly, but the reason we felt like we wanted to have it come out the way that it did, when it did, is because it is now like full-blown packing and moving. Like I said, we do not own this home. We're no longer residents of this address.
Spring cleaning.
The spring cleaning. Clear back when we did the garage clean out, we were spring cleaning, I had the intention of eventually posting a video that said we lied about spring cleaning because that was actually getting the home decluttered and cleaned up for showing and pictures. Is a spring cleaning, but it was just a full-on cleaning out of the house and moving. Now, moving forward, you're gonna be able to join in real time, packing, the moving. We have some nuances with the move that I don't think we've addressed, where we are going to be actually homeless for like a 3-week to a month period of time.
Technically, we're homeless.
We're homeless now, but we will actually not have a roof over our head.
We actually don't have a plan.
We have to get all of our furniture out of here, and we have to be out of here, but then we cannot move into the home that we're gonna move into for almost a month. So join us in figuring that whole thing out, because that's been one that we're not sure how we're gonna do, but here we are. Now we're joining you guys real time. For me, I know, and as we've been talking about some of the family trials that the extended family has been through, the moment that we're finally able to sit down and talk to the camera and address you guys has always been unusually therapeutic for me, unexpectedly, I guess I should say. Sometimes, like my dad was kind of the first big thing that I
never reached the time limit before on a recording.
If you guys don't know what just happened there, I just had the camera say you've reached the maximum time limit. And
you talk a lot, buddy.
So you knew there was a time limit on
you
recording.
You guys have asked for longer vlogs. Here you go.
30-minute clip. Okay, so what was I saying? So I gotta say the whole thing again, right? Something that for me was unexpectedly therapeutic. It started back when my dad passed away unexpectedly. We had to sit down and because we share our lives, and that includes everything, we had to sit down and address the camera and tell you guys and explain it and kind of walk through it and talk about it. That was comforting to me in a way that I didn't expect. It was actually almost like everything just kind of felt like chaotic and like a tornado of emotions until we sat down and I could just like get it out and something about it. Same thing happened with my brother. It was just still such a crazy difficult thing, but once I could finally like almost come clean on it and share it with you guys and sit down and talk about it, was such a healing process for me. And it's kind of been the same way with this. It's like we've had so many things on pause mentally. Oh my
gosh. I'm like, can we just say it already?
Can we just get it out there? Like I said, we were trying to protect the transaction, trying to protect what we were hoping to do in moving and setting ourselves up for a better future. I think it's all come down to now is the time to bring you guys in on this, and it feels good. And once again, incredibly therapeutic to sit down, get it out there, bring you guys in on it, because the next little bit is gonna be pretty fun, pretty exciting. We are actually anxious to share that whole journey with you guys.
We have a lot coming up. We'll do part 2 where we bring you up to speed on maybe the next chapter.
Because I do feel like there's another, maybe it's like as we were moving out, but there's gonna be like a more emotional look back, a goodbye, little montage of the clips of moving in and the energy around that, then moving out. Just pictured that in my mind a bunch ever since making this decision how to best document and share that with you guys. But I feel like for this one, it was like getting the news out there, letting you guys in on what's going on so that when you see us with packing boxes everywhere, every video is about trying to figure out where to live, what to pack and what not to pack. You guys will know what's going on. Then I think maybe we will take time throughout these coming weeks to reflect on the emotion of it all.
I think at the end of the day, it is us swallowing a bit of pride to be able to come to this decision, do something really hard. I think sometimes when things don't go as planned, you just gotta pick yourself up and keep moving forward, and that's what we've tried to do. Sometimes you have to do the hard thing. This is us doing the hard thing.
If there's anything that we can share with you guys that maybe you can take away, sometimes with us having like the platform or the microphone to share things on a bigger level than just within your immediate circles of friendship, is that it's okay to not have your life be a trajectory that only goes up. If your life goes like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this.
We love roller coasters.
We're huge roller coaster fans, as you guys know. This is the downhill. This is that inverted dive on the cannibal. If there's anything that we could encourage you out there in a world that's very competitive, it's very like keeping up with the Joneses and look at me and sharing only the highlights and the best parts and trying to compete with that with other people. It's okay to go backwards a little bit and then pick yourself up and try again, or to fail, as we're calling it. People have reminded us many times it is far from a failure. You still get to be together as a family, still get to make a living online, just basically spending time together, sharing your life's journey. We're gonna land in a pretty good spot. Financially, we've been set up in a way with the sale of the home that we're in a really good situation that way as well. So we've been reminded by many, many people in our lives, it's far from a failure, but it is a backward slide, a setback, whatever you want to call that. And as we figure out what is next in this journey of life, not just YouTube, because what is life after YouTube? What is life if YouTube continues to go on its downward trend that it's been on and ceases to be a way to make a living for the family? We want to make sure that we are set up with what matters the absolute most, and that is the people inside of these walls, inside of this home, relationships with each other, giving our kids the best life that they could ever hope for. And that doesn't always mean swimming pool, theater.
Right?
I don't know. Maybe we should rethink this. Do you think that they would give it back to us?
You guys, we love you. We're so grateful to finally, I can't even tell you the way I feel even just in this moment because everything else is crazy. We'll show you all
the rest of the chaos. Come back tomorrow.
We love you guys. We'll see you later.
Good night, everybody. They even wrote Mertrim on there.
Oh man, all of a sudden I want to cry.
It's amazing.
just pulling boulders with the greatest of ease, just tossing rocks to the side like they're featherweights.